all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, everybody. How we doing today? Thank you, Sir Francis, for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate you. And thank you to all of the members of the channel. You can become a member of the channel by clicking the join button that sits right under the title of the videos. And you can pick from one of two tiers. The first tier, you have access to your very own. I created a Discord for members. So there's a Discord channel. The link to that channel is whenever you choose to become a member, there's a link to that Discord. And if you become a member of the second tier, which is the Crimson Knights, the first tier is the Crimson Squires, second tier is the Crimson Knights. You get access not only to the Discord, but to all of the membership only videos as well. I'm going to be dropping videos randomly. I don't have a particular schedule for membership videos, but I do have a lot of different thoughts. You're not able to get into the Discord. How many people are unable to get into the Discord? And is it giving you like an error message? Thank you, Jeb, for becoming a member as well. Jeb Vlogs, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Is it giving like an error message or something, Miss Lady? It says the link is invalid. You know, and I put up a link that doesn't have an expiration. So I'll check that link today, and if it needs to be changed, I'll change it so that you all can get in there. Thank you for letting me know. So Harley initiated YouTube page to look for the full video, because I really did want to see that conversation what we're going to talk about. I wanted to see it, the context of it. Like, I wanted to see the full context of the statement, because I really wanted to know. I really wanted to know what was the conversation that led to that statement. And whenever possible, I like to see if I can pinpoint the source videos so that I can actually get context. I was unable to do so this time around. So we're only going to be focusing on what was said in the clip. And it speaks to what I want to, some of the things that I want to focus on this week, which is pretty much the devaluing of men in the family life, in the family dynamic, in the communal dynamic. So I want to share screen. Let's see. Fortunately, it's been playing. So what I want to do is play. This is probably in the middle of what she's saying, so I'm gonna let it run so that you can hear the entire clip. And I kind of want to talk about, because we say things in these spaces on the men and women's sides. And I don't know if we realize some of these statements are mutually exclusive or they're contradictory. I don't know. Has anybody else kind of, after all these years, especially if you've been in these spaces for years, put a 1 in the chat if you've kind of come to realize that sometimes both the men and the women can have these very contradictory or mutually exclusive talking points depending upon what side of the conversation that they're on or who they're talking to or whatever. And I know some of y'all, I know like Love C, UFO, Terenzo, like I know that you all especially peep that. And I'm going to start calling some of that stuff out. I'm going to start calling some of that stuff out because the reason why I'm going to start calling some of that stuff out before we get to this clip, the reason I'm going to start calling this stuff out, this flip-flop, is because as long as we are flip-flopping, and I'm just going to say it, and it may not be a popular opinion, but as long as we are going to flip-flop talking points, we are never going to move forward or find a solution. And I think that even on a subconscious level, as a group, we like to do that. We like to flip-flop like that because it saves us from having to do work to actually change things and get to a solution about things, because it keeps us in the loop of a complaint. It keeps us in the loop of complaining. And I don't think I like that. I don't think that I like the complaint loop. And I'm not really one to be like, oh, people can't air a grievance or a communal grievance. I don't think the airing of the grievance or talking about it is a complaint in and of itself. But I do think that when we make a conscious effort to make circular arguments, we want to kind of stay where we are. Some of y'all are going to get what I'm talking about. This is exactly it. Saying whatever you got to say in the moment just to appear correct. Just plug and play which talking point sounds good in a particular conversation. So I'm going to let this play.
One indicator for how children grow up to thrive, whether or not they actually do?
I thought it was the daddy in the house.
Absolutely not.
What's
Believe
that?
it or not, it is the quality of their mother's happiness.
Wow.
Damn.
The quality of their mother's happiness is the number one indicator as to whether or not a child will grow up to thrive. Because if you have a depressed mother, if you have an anxious mother, if you have a mother with post-traumatic stress disorder who is having to disconnect from her own body, she cannot show up to nurture you. She cannot show up to support you. She cannot fully step into that space. And what she will teach you about being in relationships with other people, whether you can trust them, whether you can trust yourself, whether you can actually be committed and connected to somebody and know that they will reciprocate that to you in a healthy way. She teaches you that not through her words, but through her actions. And so what I will say to you, sis, is that you have to decide for yourself how you want your children not to just grow up in your house, but to grow up in this world, because you are teaching them that right now through how you are living your life and showing them how life is supposed to be in this roof with this man. Do you guys know the number one outcome or the...
And I'm gonna come back. Let me come back. I'm having a hard time with that. And I'm gonna let you know why I'm having a hard time with it. Because, okay, I'm not saying that the mind state and the emotional state of the mother is exactly. I'm not saying that the emotional state of the mother is not important. Because if she's unhinged, you're going to have a problem as her child. If your mother is unhinged, if your mother is not in a good emotional or mental place, you're probably going to have a lot of trouble with her. Because a lot of times they like to take things out on their children, whether that be physical, whether that be verbal, whether that be emotional, whether that be psychological. So there's that. So I'm not going to completely deny that your mother's mental and emotional space is not important to the raising of and rearing of her children, because it most definitely is important. However, saying that it is the number one indicator of whether or not the child grows up to thrive. And when one of the hosts said, father in the house, she said, absolutely not, as if to say, how could you possibly bring the father up as a positive contributing factor on whether or not children thrive? And just like Sister Bathsheba said, it sounds like happy wife, happy life for single moms. Happy mom, better kids. The reason why I'm having a problem with what she's saying is because on the one hand, you have women saying that they don't need a man and that they are able to have children without marriage. They are able to be fulfilled as mothers and be good mothers without the need for a stable nuclear family. She doesn't need a man, and apparently neither do her children need any man. The problem that I'm continue to have with that, you've got that on the one side. We don't need the men. We're perfectly capable of being good moms. Just because we're single mothers doesn't make us bad moms. We're able to raise our children properly, and we're able to raise them in a balanced way. Then on the other hand, you have mothers are frazzled because there are no fathers in the home to help them. And even when there are fathers in the home, they remain single, married single mothers. And the pressures of having to take on the responsibilities of a mom, where the husband is detached He doesn't help him do the housework. He doesn't help do this and that. He doesn't help. Then that causes his not helping or his not being present causes the mother to go into these negative emotional states, to go into these negative mental states, to go into, it causes the mother not having the help of the father, whether he's in the home participatory, but he's not doing all of the things that the mother thinks he's supposed to be doing, or she had the child without any commitment or relationship or nuclear family in the first place. And so the stressors of her having to carry the entire load on her own makes her unhappy. If you are unhappy, let the women tell it. And this is what I was talking about saying stuff in the moment to be right or to be, depending on the argument, you use one or the other talking point. Hope y'all following what I'm saying. If you're gonna be unhappy, if the single mother that has no man in the picture at all is stressed out, and the rigors of parenting, and as they say, taking on both roles is so traumatic to her, right? And then you're also in the same boat when you do have a husband, when the father is there, when you do have help on the bill, so you don't have to take on every stress of the household and inside and outside of the household. He's at least taking care of all the stressors outside of the household, and you're still in that same predicament. When are you happy? When you happy? Which situation puts you in the space of this healthy mindset to where these are the things that dictate whether or not your children thrive as adults? That I just want to know. Because let these women tell it, the stressors of being a woman is not alleviated under any circumstance. There is no circumstance where being a mom or being a woman or being a wife or whatever the case may be, there's no circumstance where some of these pressures are alleviated so that they can operate more smoothly and more efficiently and effectively. Saying that the father being in the home is not one of the biggest contributors or detractions from whether or not a child thrives as an adult negates the argument that the children are wild and that women have to be masculine and that women have to do it all and that the family unit is failing because of the absence of men. Because you're saying that if she's happy, doesn't matter if the man is there. His presence or non-presence is not as much of a factor. So why do y'all complain about deadbeats? Why do y'all talk about that? It should be of no consequence. And then let's go to the other side of it. Don't they all claim to be living their best life single, whether they got children or not? I mean, are y'all with me? Am I taking crazy pills? Because don't they be talking about how they want to be single mothers, and don't they say that? Don't I'm not taking crazy pills. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Cause you complain about the deadbeats. You complain that the reason why these kids, you can't pay attention to them the way that you would want to is because the fathers is not around, and they won't take responsibilities, and they won't help alleviate the stress, and they won't take some of the problems and some of the stress off your shoulders, and they won't take some of the responsibilities off the plate and things of that nature. And it keeps you frazzled, and it keeps you upset, and it keeps you anxious, and it keeps you not really operating at the best capacity that you could possibly operate as a mother. You complain about that. Then on the other hand, you say, we can be happy without them. I think, let me be candid with y'all, if I can be candid with y'all. We like this foolishness. We like this stuff. I'm so tired, y'all. I'm tired. I'm tired. We like this foolishness. We either facing the problems or we not. We either facing the problems or we ain't. We're either dealing head on with the issues of our community or we not. We love this foolishness. Because I'm not even going to talk about her the whole time. I got another one to talk about it after the break. And yes, when we just gonna face it, nobody wants to take accountability. Nobody. Everybody want to pass the buck to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. If we telling the truth, why come we can't tell the whole truth? Why come we can't tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help us God? Why we can't do that? Is it that difficult to say? We have made, as a collective of Black women, we have made a mess of the nuclear family, and we have made a mockery of motherhood. Because love see is right. It's not to believe people like things in chaos and disarray. It can continue to play. Yeah, it's not even dodgeball. It's volleyball. It's here, you take accountability. No. You take accountability. Like, what is we doing? Now all of a sudden, her happiness is paramount. Is this why y'all break your family up? Because they believe that. They believe that because you have heard, I know you've heard on these internet streets, these women talk about how it's better for her to break her family up if she's unhappy because her children need not see their mother in an unhappy relationship. Hey, haven't you heard that? You've heard that, right? That's not me with the crazy pills again, right? I don't why we can't say we've made a mockery of motherhood by not providing the best possible outcomes. And then you talk about, well, if we say get married before you have children, well, now everybody don't want to be married. And marriage don't guarantee that you won't end up single with your children. And that's the whole problem of the world. Why everybody want guarantees in life? Getting married and having children does not 100% guarantee that there's not going to be any circumstance or situation that comes up to where that marriage may not break. And you may end up divorced. And technically, you would end up a single parent, an unmarried parent, a divorced parent. But I will say this, a divorcee has more of my respect than a woman who never got married, never went into a committed relationship and had children, a child or multiple children. Because at least the woman that got married and then they went through their marriage and something happened and they got a divorce and now she's got the kids, at least I can say you gave it a try. You tried to provide the nuclear family. You tried to do your due diligence by getting married and things of that nature, and it just didn't work out. I got more respect. I got more respect. Because at least, I tried. I got married. I tried to do it the right way. There are no guarantees in life for anything. We are not even guaranteed to be able to take our next breath. Do we understand that? I don't think we do. Because we look at all these different things and we want guarantees. We want somebody or something or some, entity to promise us and cross their heart and hope to die that we'll never experience a hardship, or we will never get divorced after we're married, or we'll never have a challenge in life, or things won't change and sometimes they go down and some. Why do we do that? There's more. We're going to go to a commercial break. So after these messages, we'll be right back. Because I need everybody and their mama, I swear, to go to ashkicking.com and click the link. Get you some of this awesome body butter. Get you some of this awesome facial moisturizer. Get you some of this awesome lip moisturizer, awesome deodorant. Their whole entire line. This is what I'm trying to tell you. If you're trying to keep your skin looking good, your face looking good, your house smelling fresh, and all of these wonderful things, then you definitely need to pay ashkicking.com a visit. And when you pay them that visit, if that's your first visit, you definitely want to take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson once you get to the site. I'm telling you, this body, but it lasts such a long time. You don't need to keep applying it all day. It absorbs quickly. It smells wonderfully. It feels very silky and smooth. All of those different things. It is as good as it looks. It's as good as you think it is. So once again, hit the link at the top of the chat for ashkicking.com. I don't know how many likes I need, but I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta go ahead and hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel as well. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. One of my mods, please put the chat on subscription mode for me. I got something else that I want to show. And this further demonstrates what I'm talking about. So this is a thread, looks like it was on Twitter. And I have to say, I'm scared of Twitter. I post like my shows on there, but I'm scared of Twitter. Such a cesspool. Anyways, she says, all these pregnancy announcements and no wedding announcements. I truly hate that for everyone. Let's bring monogamy and nuclear families back. And she's probably referring to all of these popular thoughts getting married. I'm gonna read the rest of it because there are other slides. All these so-called celebrity or popular thoughts getting pregnant, Drea, Joey Chavis, or whomever. I haven't spoken on that stuff because it's so mind-numbing to me. But a quick word, especially with the Joy Chavis girl. I have to say, because this woman has 2 children by 2 different famous men. And she is now pregnant with a third. And I must tell you this. Y'all want to know? Y'all want to know something? I don't feel sorry for that boy. What's his name? Travis or whoever? I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for him one bit. I don't feel sorry. Mm-mm. Mm. She gonna do him like she did the other 2. Trayvon Diggs. There we go. I don't feel sorry. Because, see, at some point, you are a volunteer, not a victim. Especially if you see how a particular chick is moving. He ain't no 19. Especially if you see how a particular chick is moving. And she done moved this way 2-3 times publicly. This is public knowledge. This is not no secret knowledge. This is not no underhanded stuff. She ain't lying to him about nothing or nothing like that. She has got these kids with these other 2 men. You know, she gets a check for them. and she has accumulated her third check with this guy here. And she gonna do, when she get I don't want to hear no belly aching. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna continue with what I was really talking about. But I don't want to hear no belly aching from that boy. When she run him through them courts, and when she run them pockets, however she gonna run them pockets, because you're not having them babies because you love them men. These are retirement plans. Okay? These are 401ks. 401ks that she got going here. And when you see these types of chicks, you know what time it is. We're going to get back to it because it was a little bit of a spinoff, but we're going to come back. Says, we're going to start it again. All these pregnancy announcements, no wedding announcements. Truly hate that for everyone. Let's bring monogamy and nuclear families back. Thank you. Somebody want to argue with her in the comments. I mean, but what if these people don't want to get married because everybody don't want to, but then want to be single parents? Oh, okay. And that's their business. Just because somebody get married don't mean you're going to be happy or have some happily ever after. I think we need to stop with this ideal life because that's not everybody. That's what's wrong. I'm sorry, my camera being away. That's what's wrong with our community. LOL. Want to commit to a child, but not marriage. And that's why our community faces all the problems that it does. It's backwards. No, that's not what's wrong. It's y'all trying to push a lifestyle on people instead of just minding your business and letting people live the life they want. Oh, I see you're slow. So being a single mom is a lifestyle that we should choose for our community, but not marriage, because we need to, quote, get out of people's business. LOL. All right, you got it. You can continue to push for broken homes and all that for your people. It's very telling that the only group in my mentions arguing about this is Black women. We gotta do better. Where would I begin? Because I'm pretty sure that there's nothing but Black women in her comments arguing against nuclear. They don't be listening to themselves when they talk. You arguing against the stability of a home. You arguing against it. Talking about mind your business. Not when it's on the internet. We could mind our business if the Drea Michelles of the world and the Joey Chavises of the world and the Sexy Reds of the world didn't want to announce these illegitimate bastard children that they're having. Yeah, I said it. And I'm using that in the formal definition. They are bastard children in the formal definition of that word. These are children that are not legitimate. They have not been legitimized by being birthed in wedlock. There used to be a time where those types of children were shunned. A woman was ashamed to bring a bastard into the world. She was ashamed of that. She didn't want that. It didn't bode well for her or that child. The fact that there's an argument, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to the part because it's a couple of parts. This right here don't mean you gonna be happy or have some happily ever after. I think we need to stop with this ideal life because that's not everybody. Is it me or can you hear the defeat of the lost value system in that statement? This is the statement of a person so steeped and don't even know it in the lost value system that they don't see a way out. You may as well not promote a better way because we don't want and we don't know a better way. Nobody lives a better life and no one has a better mindset than the mindset that we have. This is the best we can do. This is the best we can do. So we might as well deal with it because we think being married means that we ought to have a happily ever after. And if it is not like that, then the marriage itself was not worth it. And this goes back to my point about guarantees. There are none. When you get into marriages, you have to work at those. I wish I could stress it to the degree that it needs to be stressed. How much work a marriage actually take. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. There is a work to do in a marriage. Any married woman in here can testify with me that you got to work to love your husband and serve your husband every day. And to do so in a positive, loving, supportive, nurturing, joyful spirit. You have to work at that. That just don't, you. The reason that you got to work at that is because we are, as women, such chaotic beings, such fickle, emotional beings. One day we literally feel one way and the next day we literally feel another one. To be able and be willing to fight that inner chaos every single day, every moment. See, men have a natural propensity for order. They have a natural propensity for order. They like order, generally speaking. They like putting things in order. They like order in their mind. They like order in their feelings. They like order in their emotions. They like order in things. Just as a woman would never know what it takes for men to constantly be in a state of trying to establish order, whether big or small, because that's just the nature of him. That's just what he want to do. Men will not understand, but the women will, that consistent 24/7 inner battle against your own chaos, against your own propensity to run wild. The level of intrusive thought is unbelievable. I don't. Can the women vouch with me? Am I by myself? The level, the amount of intrusive thought, chaotic thought. And you have to consciously see. You can. Our chaos is like the rapids. Okay, you seen rivers where there's a peaceful part of the river and then there's the rapids. The chaos is like the rapids. If you don't keep that canoe, that kayak level, if you don't know how to navigate them rapids, you gon' overturn and hit your head every time. Every single time. You're not gonna make it out alive out of them rapids. That's the only way I can describe that. It's rapids. And we do several times a day. Here we go. Don't do that. Do not do that. Do not say that. Do not have another thought. Have another thought. Have another thought. Have a different thought. Get it out of your head. Don't. No, just, you know what? No, sit down. Sit down. Just sit down. Read. Read a book. Read a book. Read a book. It's moment to moment. Hitting the rapids. About to go over the cliff in the waterfall. Don't go over the cliff in the waterfall. Don't do that. Don't do not do. That is why spirituality is so important for both men and women, but women really need it because we be needing that solid. Do not do that. That level of chaos that we have to tame is why lionesses actually like order. And it is why we need such strong, solid system, order, and structures from our husbands. That's why we love it so much. That's why we crave it so much. Because it serves as the anchor. So that when we get into the rapids, we don't lose our minds. Okay. When we get into the rapids, we don't fly away. We hold on. What does the Most High say? What is the structure of my husband? What is the order that I need to refer back to so that I can keep my mind together? And then we can come out of the rapids safe and sound. No one ever needed to be the wiser that we was even doing that. And we go back to normal thoughts until the next hour where the intrusive thoughts start back up. When we say we are emotional creatures, That is actually what that means. It doesn't just mean we will cry or we will be sad or it means the chaos inside must be tamed all the time. All the time. All the time. All the time. No breaks. I hope that that made some level of sense to the men. The women live it. But I hope that I try to articulate something that is difficult to put into words. But hopefully the men sort of, at least sort of got that a little bit. Oh, I am. I am a total ball of chaos. And like I said before, every woman is chaotic. There's no such thing as a woman who isn't. The more feminine we are, actually, the chaos might be a little bit more readily apparent. The only true difference, the real true difference between the way the lioness and the hyena is the way we handle that inner chaos. The lioness depends upon the order. She depends on it. She stakes her life to it because it keeps us level. It keeps us lionesses. We perform properly under order. It's when we not under order that you'll see a lioness go way off to the left. We need, and I cannot need, not want, not desire, need in order to maintain peace, inner peace, and sanity, order from the Most High and from our husbands. If we cannot get it, we are not going to be good. Hyenas do not like order because they don't like feeling restricted. They like the rapids and they'll go right over the cliff. They like that. They think it's exciting. Lionesses don't like it because it is to let it go too much, to let it go too far results in things like self-sabotages and ruining your relationships and things of that nature. And you do so in small increments. It's not always this big thing. It's the small things. That is what the lioness knows. It's the little things that chip away and chip away and chip away and chip away at your relationship. We know that. This is why we depend so much on the order. So we are actually quite conscious. We do things consciously. We don't allow ourselves to go so far into the weeds that we can't get out of them. The anchor must always be there to pull us out of the weeds before we really get into it, because it's just not good. It's not a good thing. The end result of women going too far into their chaos is what we see with the modern woman and the hyena. That is a woman completely without any order. And you see how crazy it is. How utterly crazy it is. You can't even have a regular conversation. That's how crazy it is. So this is why lionesses, this is why lionesses like order. I appreciate that. The only reason that I had some semblance of being okay is because without the husband, the order comes from the Most High. You understand what I mean? So the structure, there's always system, order, and structure somewhere. No lioness likes to live their life completely devoid of it because we can't. Messes us up. Oh, wow. You're so very welcome. But just say my marriage and help me under. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Ramadan Kareem, sweet sis. How you doing? Walaikum assalam. How you doing, sweetie? I'm glad that you got something out of it gone. We fight that. And a good lioness will put on a smile and, well, everything is okay. I'm fine. It's not always sad or depressed. You know what I mean? It's just the inner fight. It's just the fight of a woman. It's just the inner fight of a woman. It's just what we have to do in order to maintain ourselves. We have an extreme level of chaos. It's untold. It's a bottomless pit. It's a bottomless pit of chaos. The chaos is bottomless. It's endless. There's an endless supply of it every day, all day. And sometimes it's at a normal pace. It's because it's our nature. We're used to it. So it's like, okay, fine, whatever. And sometimes it creeps up. And we be like, okay, I'm not feeling too good. This is getting a little wild. And that's when we have to scale back, go back to the structure, go back to the order, because that's the protection for us. That's the protection for us. Seasoned lionesses do not. We know that men operate differently than we do. So a seasoned lioness, she knows men don't have that same type of fight. He's got a different fight. Whatever his fight is, it's not that. I was thinking that and didn't want to say it. The lioness and the hyena is Jean Grey versus Dark Phoenix. Jean Grey is the lioness. She's got the structure. She has to have the structure. She has to have something that will detain her. The chaos is endless. So something that can contain it, and she has to think about it, and she has to direct that somewhere so that it is not destructive. Once it was gone, once the structure was gone and she was Dark Phoenix, that is a female's chaos unbridled. Unbridled. She was destroying stuff and laughing. She was killing whole planets and laughing. Talking about that's just what she want to do. And couldn't nobody stop her. The only person, and this is in the original storyline, they changed the story. They changed the storyline every 10 years. But it took a man to corral her. Wolverine. Wolverine had to. Tomorrow, for those who want to tune in, I will be on This Might Be Risky at noon. Tomorrow, that's DJ Hamp's show. So if you want to tune in, come right on over there to DJ Hamp. And I'm going to be on there for about an hour. And we're going to talk up some good stuff. So you definitely don't want to miss that. And I definitely, somebody said, watch out for the trolls tomorrow. I will. I know they like to troll, but that's all right. Let me get to the super chats. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely, for your super sticker. Thank you to Renzo. Say it takes a village to raise a child. They say, yet they aid in removing the father before he's a father at all. And some of these villages delete the children they've raised. Catch 22 is life. Exactly. Thank you, HVACs and Umar Simp, Fubar Johnson. Get your queens. Thank you, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. At Sister CC, I know I would get flack for this, but a significant amount of Black women have mental deficiencies in this area, including their natural appearance. I have 2 daughters, and I fear for them. Thank you once again. So maybe I should have said psychological deficiencies instead of mental. Thank you, Pastor Sugar Daddy, for your contribution. Thank you, Nurse Glow, for your contribution. Said we need our Black communities back, nuclear families, definitely. Thank you, Sister Bethshua. Said hyenas look at the Real Housewives, Basketball Wives, other so-called reality TV shows as actual reality. That ain't it. Being a lady of leisure does not equate to being a wife. It does not. Thank you, Jay Jermaine. So I just saw the women yesterday talking to silly Christian women talking about toxic masculinity and for men needing to be emotional. I was hoping someone would cover her nonsensical rhetoric. Thank you so much, Mass Man. So let me get this straight. So they'll argue for single motherhood, but still blame the number of fatherless children on the father being a dusty. And thank you once again, HVAC says same with Raven from DC. She needs her friends, Titans, otherwise she go insane. Only a man, Beast Boy, could take her just like Wolverine for Jean. Oh, okay. I'm not real familiar with DC and the Titans, but I kind of got that dynamic from them anyway. But thank you so much for the contributions. I appreciate you all. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I am your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.